Last week, we learned how, as vice president, Joe Biden altered this country's foreign policy to help his son's lobbying interests. Big tech and the national media tried hard to kill that story, but it hasn't really gone away. Facts are like that. They tend to persist. They're hard to erase. This afternoon, the New York Post published yet another newsworthy document taken from Hunter Biden's personal laptop. It's a photograph, undated, that shows Joe and Hunter Biden posing with a man called Kenes Rakishev. Rakishev is an oligarch from the nation of Kazakhstan, the former Soviet satellite country. He has close ties to that nation's corrupt government. Reportedly, Hunter Biden helped Rakishev stash his fortune here in the United States. This new photograph reveals that Hunter Biden also provided Rakishev with access to his father. So it'd be worth knowing a lot more about this. That's all we know. But we should know more before we vote in 2 weeks. For example, how much money changed hands? What did the Bidens do in return for that money, if anything? We should know. And maybe we'll learn the answers, because there's an awful lot of material on that laptop. The leaders of the Democratic Party are very aware of that, of course, and it terrifies them. So they're doing everything they can to prevent you from seeing that information before you make up your mind. And that includes concocting ludicrous and potentially dangerous conspiracy theories about foreign interference in our political system. Yesterday, perfect example, a group of more than 50 former U.S. intelligence officials. Who are these people? They're the very same people who missed 9/11, who endorsed the Iraq War and the weapons of mass destruction. They're the same people who illegally spied on American citizens for years. Those people signed a letter claiming that the New York Post story could very well be part of a secret Russian operation designed to help Vladimir Putin's fellow Slavic dictator Donald J. Trump cling to power. Quote, "Our experience makes us deeply suspicious that the Russian government played a significant role in this case." Now, these are so-called intelligence operatives, but they offered no evidence to support that reckless claim, that very serious claim. Why didn't they offer any evidence? Because there is no evidence. None exists. Instead, they simply asserted it, which means they simply lied. They lied to the American public in order to influence the outcome of a supposedly free and fair election. Isn't that what they claim Russia does? They're doing it with much greater effect, and they've been doing it for years. But this time, in the final days before we vote, they're not even bothering to hide what they're doing or their methods. Senior figures in our vast national security state are working in concert with the Democratic Party to get Joe Biden elected. That sounds nutty even to say out loud, but it's not nutty. It's happening. They're showing us what they're doing. Watch Senator Chris Murphy of Connecticut, a thuggish party hack, a man who's been in politics since he was 25 years old, our generation's Joe McCarthy, vomit forth this masterpiece of dishonesty.
I can confirm that their campaign of misinformation and propaganda and interference is bigger, it's broader, and it's more problematic than it was in 2016. In particular, because the Russians this time around have decided to cultivate U.S. citizens as assets. They are attempting to try to spread their propaganda in the mainstream media rather than just relying on, bots and Facebook posts as they largely were 4 years ago. And they've been successful. Rudy Giuliani is effectively a Russian asset at this point. I think, made some significant ground above and beyond what they were doing 4 years ago.
A child posing as a senator. Senator Murphy's welcome on this show anytime, for the hour, any day. But he's a coward in addition to being a liar. He'll never come. But here's what he's telling us. He's telling us the former mayor of New York City, ladies and gentlemen, is a Russian asset. Now, keep in mind, for 50 years, Rudy Giuliani has worked for the American government at all levels, from local to federal. But now, Senator Murphy, a sitting senator, tells us that Giuliani is a traitor, a treasonous Russian spy. It's too bad you can't sue sitting senators for libel. Chris Murphy certainly deserves that at minimum. So does John Brennan, the former CIA director, now on MSNBC. So does the former director of national intelligence, Jim Clapper. Clapper is a man who lied under oath to Congress on camera, but was never prosecuted for it because he's not Roger Stone. Both of those two, Brennan and Clapper, signed a letter claiming the Russians are behind Hunter Biden's emails. Now, what does this mean? We've said it before, and we're not prone to alarmism on this show, but we'll say it again, and we mean it more than ever. This is an ominous moment when every power center in the nation, that includes big tech, big media, the finance establishments, the federal spy agencies, When every power center aligns behind a common political goal, you have a very dangerous axis. That is far too much power concentrated in one place. Normal people will inevitably be crushed, and they are being crushed. But that's okay, the media tell us. They deserve to be crushed, because anyone interested in learning more about the emails on Hunter Biden's laptop is effectively colluding with the Russians.
It just lacks credibility. And the fact that it appeared in the New York Post and that they chose to report on it extensively sort of says a lot about where we are in 2020 as opposed to 2016, when a lot of news organizations reported on emails that had been hacked by the Russians, Democratic emails, and then leaked, and they were newsworthy and people reported on them. We're in a much different situation now, because we now know that Russian disinformation or foreign disinformation or even campaign disinformation, period, is as dangerous to our democracy as anything exposed in these emails.
That's almost unbelievable. That guy you just saw, who's the NBC News intelligence analyst or reporter or whatever, some name, he was caught, and you can look it up, and you should look it up. He was caught sending his stories to the CIA for approval before running them. He was working for the CIA and posing as a journalist. That's true. But notice what he's not saying in that clip. He's not saying, none of them are saying that the emails are fake. They don't want to get over their skis. They're not going to claim that because they know it's not true. The emails are not fake. Just like the DNC emails that leaked 4 years ago. The emails are real, and everyone knows they're real. And the laptop is real. Hunter Biden signed for it. His lawyer asked for it back. And to this day, no one has shown or even claimed that a single photograph or video or document, email, text on that laptop, tens of thousands of them, is fraudulent. Not one. So they're not even trying to convince you, really, that Russia did this. They're trying to bully you into shutting up, and they're using lies. Russia did it! Russia! Russia, Russia, Russia!